Whether you're already running an affiliate program and you're managing multiple partners, or if you're just getting started and looking into affiliate marketing, there are a lot of options out there, Cake being one of the most well-known, or at least one of the better known, but that's not all that there is. And if you've ever used Cake, it is powerful, but it's also to some degree kind of dated. There are a lot of other platforms to consider, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. We're going to be talking about 5 of what I think are the best alternatives to Cake. So whether you're already using Cake and you're thinking about making some sort of a transition to a new platform, or you're just sort of looking at all of your options right now, hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a better idea of what some of the alternatives are, how they work, how they might benefit your company, and ultimately help you to make a decision. Before we get into all of the Cake alternatives, it's important to take a step back and just sort of evaluate the things that you want or need from whatever platform you're going to go with. So I think looking at the program type and size that you're planning to have, is your program going to be small and in-house? Is it going to be a vast high volume network? You'll want to choose a platform that's going to support your business where you're at right now in terms of what you need and what you can handle, but also where you want to go, 1 year, 2 years, even 5 years into the future. It might seem like it makes sense to get the most robust platform that you possibly can when you're just starting out, because it can take you, off into infinity as far as how big you can grow. That's a fine idea in theory, but if you're a startup or, small business and you're just starting out, some of those more powerful platforms might be a little too much. So it's just important to consider, your needs right now, as well as where you want to go in the future. You don't want to find yourself underwater with a massive, just a really comprehensive, huge beast of a platform, not just in terms of running it, but also in terms of paying for it, because, some of those larger platforms can get pretty expensive. You also want to keep in mind your integration needs. Now, these are, different tools that you're using currently, your CRMs, analytics, e-commerce things like Shopify, WooCommerce, whatever you've got going on. You'll want to look at platforms and make sure that they support the integrations that you need. But it's also a good idea to sort of look at any integrations that you might need. If there are things that you've been thinking about maybe adding to your workflow or to your tool set, and you haven't pulled the trigger yet, but you might, you'll want to look and make sure that, whatever platform you're looking at supports those as well. And of course, pricing is a huge factor. That's a big thing to consider, especially when you're a startup or a smaller business. And, a lot of times when you're looking at these platforms, it's very, very normal for them to have a, click here to get a quote. There's not necessarily always a clear pricing structure, and that might freak you out a little bit at first until you realize that a lot of these platforms, the pricing factors in, the size of your business, what you need. It's not really a one-size-fits-all kind of a deal. So, don't let that scare you when you first start looking at platforms. But you are going to want to be aware of pricing, to make sure that it's within your budget, obviously, but you're also going to want to make sure that you're fully aware of, whatever the platform charges are each month. Are there transaction fees? Are there other hidden fees that you need to know about? Because those can really add up, especially when you're just starting out. If you use a lot of workflow automations for like repetitive tasks, you're going to want to make sure that you select a platform that supports those as well. That kind of ties into the integrations that we talked about a minute ago. And while this is pretty common for most platforms, it's a good idea just to double check that, the fraud detection, compliance, all of those things are sort of like built into the system already. Like I said, most platforms have fraud detection and, protection. They're sort of, pretty good about that most of the time, but you still want to double check and make sure that that's just all above board. Finally, it's important to consider the amount of support and onboarding that you might need or want, especially when you're new to affiliate marketing. You've never done this before, it can be really overwhelming. So you want to make sure that you're signing on with a platform that is as supportive as possible. And, no matter what kind of hand holding you feel you need, it's important to have, tech support that responds to your issues, customer support that, if you send a text message or a chat or an email or whatever, you actually get a response that helps you. You would be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't, by how often it can take days for, some platforms to get back to you with, tech support issues and things, that you're trying to work through. So make sure that whatever platform you're signing up with offers the amount of support that you need. And that includes white glove service if you need help setting up your program. There's usually documentation with all of these platforms, and either you or somebody from your dev team can figure it out. But if you really don't want to deal with all of that, some programs or some platforms actually do offer white glove service that will sort of, set that all up for you and take it off of your hands. It's a really big help. So now that we've got all of that out of the way, we're going to get into my top 5 recommendations. The first one that I want to talk about is Everflow. Now, this is a partner marketing and affiliate platform that provides end-to-end tracking management for, your multi-channel partners. And the marketplace within Everflow gives you access to pretty much anybody that you would possibly need as far as content creators, influencers, media buyers, offline placements, and just a lot of other options that you can filter through. So you can find partners, you can recruit them, and they get onboarded pretty easily. Everflow offers really deep analytics and tracking, so you can drill down into the data over time to see who's driving the best ROI, who's driving conversions, or who isn't. And that really helps you to sort of, see who your best performers are and, make decisions based on where you want to put more of your efforts as far as, working with specific content creators, ambassadors, influencers, wherever, so you can scale faster. Because of course you're going to go with the people that are getting the job done versus the ones that aren't, right? So that makes a lot of common sense. The one thing that I really find that makes Everflow stand out is its support. So, most platforms, they have documentation and information, they have FAQs and all of that kind of stuff. Everflow, during your onboarding process, which takes 4 weeks, that isn't time that's just spent sitting around, waiting for things to be set up. There is actual training that's happening during that time. So by the time you're ready to launch, at the end of your onboarding, you actually have an understanding of how everything works, how to use your reporting, how to, basically do everything that you would possibly need to do within the platform. So it's sort of setting you off on the best possible foot. And I think this is really important for people that are just starting out with affiliate marketing, having that amount of support and training that just sort of just makes it possible for you to be able to manage all of that, because it can be a lot. There's a lot going on in the back of any affiliate platform. So the fact that they give you that sort of education, as they're helping you along the way, I think that's just really, really cool. Now, if you don't want to set up Everflow on your own, They do have sort of a white glove service. It's called Everflow Plus, and they will, really sort of take the reins with that. So if you get to, if you're signing on and the idea of, setting all of this up is a little overwhelming, you're going to have help there too. But overall, in terms of running a complete partner management program, Everflow really does offer everything that you would need, from getting your partners and managing them, the extensive dimensional analytics. You can even generate QR codes from tracking links, and for like offline marketing. There's just a lot of power behind Everflow in terms of what it can do, the customizations that it offers, and just providing you with everything you need to run your program. This next one is primarily for B2B software as a service companies. PartnerStack is a cloud-based partner relationship management platform. And like Everflow, and other programs that we're going to talk about, it provides end-to-end support, which includes finding and recruiting partners, onboarding, tracking their activity and attribution, and payouts, commissions, and, this, that, and the other thing. Now, this one is specifically for software as a service companies. So this isn't necessarily a fit for all, e-commerce businesses, but I think it's worth mentioning, for those of you that are specifically in software as a service. The one really great thing about PartnerStack is that it provides you with a network to, reach out to affiliates, resellers, referrals, but the programming onboarding is really customizable with PartnerStack. So especially when you're dealing with software stuff, you can provide your new partners with, whatever training and resources are needed on their end to market your products, at least, effectively. And they do provide automated payouts that just make the administration easier every month, so you can spend your time focusing on things that are going to improve your ROI. I think the biggest drawback to PartnerStack is the platform cost, which might be a little more than, smaller companies or startups that are in their early stages, are really in a position to handle. And, it isn't a fit for every digital merchant just because, it is focused on software as a service specifically. But for companies for whom it is a fit, I think it is a good option worth considering. Affise is another option to consider. Now, this is a cloud-based affiliate marketing platform, and they support e-commerce, mobile apps, even iGaming and software as a service. So it's a really great fit for businesses that are in the app or gaming spaces. And like its competitors, Affise provides customizable dashboards and real-time reporting data so you can monitor, all of your partner clicks, conversions, revenue, and all of the traffic sources. Smart Links provide partner management automation and rule-based optimizations that help you to streamline administrative workflows and sort of maximize your time while you're managing everything. Affise uses what's called an open API structure, and that really allows for seamless integrations, with any sort of like customized workflows that you might use. But that also means that the learning curve with this one can be a little heavier, especially for new users. And, they offer documentation, they have a support team, but the tutorials aren't necessarily always beginner friendly. So even when you're going through like the onboarding, it might be a little overwhelming at first. And I know that this is like sort of probably not important to everybody, but like I do write and edit a lot, so I catch typos and things like that. But there are typos on the website. Now this is based in Lithuania, so I'm sure it's just little errors in translations. Affise overall has a really great reputation, and it does offer a lot in terms of comprehensive tracking, all of your partner marketing needs and integrations, customizations, automations. It does offer a lot, but I think it's primarily designed to support more high volume operations. It might be a little more than smaller digital merchants or startups really need, especially with the higher learning curve and, the tutorials that are a little difficult to follow at times. Now, if your business is really small, you're a startup, or you're just starting out, Refersion is a partner marketing program that helps digital merchants to find and recruit partners, track referrals, manage payouts, basically do all of the that you would do with any other affiliate platform, but it's a little more user-friendly. With Refersion, you can connect with a variety of content creators, bloggers, influencers, brand ambassadors, even recruit happy customers for referrals. But the one thing that I really like about Refersion is the easy setup, especially when you're new. Now, Refersion has a few different tiers, like access tiers, and their lowest entry level is called Launch, and it's super affordable, just starts at $39 a month if you're paying monthly, and just 3% of your affiliate sales. So as your affiliate program grows, you can upgrade, and if you do, the monthly fee gets higher, but the sales percentage gets lower. So, that is a benefit for sure. But the biggest bummer of the lower tiers, and if you're just starting out, this might not matter so much, but the lower tiers don't include the API access, some of the marketing integrations that you might want, like customizable commission payouts, multi-store management, those kinds of things. Those aren't really going to be available at the lower tiers in Refersion. But again, when you're just starting out, you might not need all of that. So that's not the end of the world. I think compared to its competitors, Refersion is a simpler affiliate setup, pretty low learning curve. It's affordable, and it's a really great option for merchants who are looking to scale their ambassador programs in particular. But it's definitely not as powerful as some of the others that we're covering. Especially like if you're an enterprise level business, Refersion's probably not going to be anything that you want to look at. Like payouts, for instance. Payouts with Refersion are one click, but they're not automated. It's just a really streamlined affiliate platform. And again, with the lower tiers, there's a pretty substantial feature gap in terms of like your access to API and integrations. And that kind of sucks, but if you are starting out, it is a really, I don't want to say low stress, but it's definitely a more accessible, it's a more accessible option as far as like user friendliness. Finally, this last one really is geared more towards high volume merchants and enterprise level businesses. This is a beast of a platform, super powerful, can do a lot, but it's really not targeted towards, startups and small businesses. Tune is a fully customizable partner marketing platform, and it provides white label dashboards and interfaces. So basically you can build a branded experience for your affiliate partners. This is a crazy feature-rich platform. The API access and customization honestly is one of the most advanced that you're going to find. I don't know much about API as far as what endpoints mean. So if that's something that's really familiar to you, you're probably going to be really excited when you hear that you can literally build anything on their API with more than 650 endpoints. That sounds like a lot. I assume it is. But basically, whatever solutions or automations you want to create, whatever customizations, that you want to do, you can get it done with Tune. And if you want customizations and you can't do it yourself, Tune does offer technical development and consulting, for a price, obviously, but that is an option. Now, this is a complex and powerful solution. It's going to be a bit much for startups and small businesses. It's not really simple or intuitive, especially compared to Refersion. And the help and support can be hit or miss. It's probably going to be more of a hit if you're a big time player, more of a miss if you're sort of a smaller fish. Tune offers robust tracking and analytics, so you can track your conversions, your partner metrics, use that data to make the best decisions possible. But the user interface can feel a little unintuitive, and the cost and the pricing structure is pretty steep. So, it's a beast. It can do a lot, but it also has a steep learning curve and a steeper price, but you also get unparalleled API access and customization. There are several pros and cons to consider. I think for enterprise level businesses, Tune really does provide the most customization that you're going to find anywhere, but I think you really have to be big enough to carry it, because it's a lot. I think if you've got a large enough business, high enough volume, and it can be worth it, especially if you're trying to scale globally. But I think if your business is small to mid, or if you're a startup, it's just a little too much. Even though Cake is still a strong and very viable platform for many digital merchants, it's not the only one out there. The affiliate platform space has really diversified in recent years, so you have a lot of options to consider. And that could be a little overwhelming at times, but you're not necessarily locked into one program because it's the only program. So whether you need something really, really simple like Refersion, whether you're looking for advanced analytics and automations like you would get with Everflow, or if you have an enterprise level business and you need a monster, in which case go with Tune, you've got a lot of different options to consider. And hopefully by this point, you're at least a couple steps closer to figuring out which one of these platforms is going to support your business and grow your affiliate partnerships the most.